eStar are the team that made playoffs in their very first split. There were a bunch of rookies, bar someone like Wink, who often came through and filled in from time to time against Uzi, who is no longer playing in the LPL, unfortunately. And eStar are on the verge of having high expectations yet again. But with the change in Fun mid, with Cryan leaving this roster, how do they fare against a team like LGD that have big names themselves?
I am so excited to see Garvey debut on this Hecarim. So for anyone who wasn't watching MSC, we did see Khan play a little bit of this, but I'm going to hang on because looks like we're getting invaded.
Ward's going to come through first, so that kind of gives it away. W start for Xiaobai, not going to be the end of the world, but they do get some damage, and of course some, no, not gold to Mark, because he's gone for the shield.
So LGD not quite able to get in and get the vision control they wanted. What LGD are trying to do right now is figure out where Wei is going to start. Because the way Garvey plays this Hecarim against Wukong is you shove in super aggressively in the early stages, get that wave to crash. And Wukong as a champion struggles when he's not, or when he's underneath his turret, because his wave clear isn't really the best. So the whole idea here is, as Garvey just sit on top of those minions, spin that helicopter every time Xiaobai tries to clear out any sort of these minions, and you get your advantage. That way, the dynamic of the matchup changes massively when you hit that level 6 point, because Xiaobai will be the one that always has kill pressure until he's used that ultimate, and then Garvey can turn back around and actually has kill pressure on Xiaobai. So it's a very back and forth matchup, but one that can be influenced massively by jungle pressure.
But also notice that you've got an Ignite teleport Hecarim. There's no flash there for Garvey, so with Ignite added into this top lane, you've always got the expectation that the Hecarim will feel pretty much right at home. Look at where junglers are. Speak of the Devil Peanut, who has taken phase rush here on this Trundle, is up towards the top side but clearing down. While for Wei, excuse me, he started with the red buff, is clearing down as well. So buff to buff for now.
I imagine Wei is going to go towards his Gromp and then start working back up towards that top side. Because once Garvey has this bounce back happen, there is the opportunity when you have the level 3, level 4 available for Xiaobai to try and make a play there, or even just make a play towards Scuttle off of the push that Fun will have in mid lane as well.
Just having a close look at Chelsea, who actually lands the hook. Remember, they've hit level 2, so Mark in a bit of trouble as Exhaust comes through. Wink has to Arcane shift away, still has the flash and heal. Good trading here from Kramer and Mark, considering that Chelsea is the one that got the hook.
So Wei now making his way down towards the bottom side, but Chelsea, that hook is still going to be on a little bit of a cooldown for the moment. He is starting to posture aggressively.
There is a lot of damage here. The flash comes through, and he forces one out of Kramer, but the turnaround, even in 3 versus 2, they can just walk back to lane. But both summoners used by Kramer, that's a win.
Massive win, but we'll have to see if they're able to punish. It looks like now with the push that's going on bot side and Kramer and Mark have to play passive, you're going to look towards Wei to try and pick up this bottom Scuttle. Although as I say that, he decided, no, just to ping it out and then move back towards, clearing towards topside.
On another note, we're just having a closer look here of the runes picked up by Xie. Same as what we saw from Mol out of the V5 vs OMG series just a bit before. Teleport, of course, taken here on the Twisted Fates. So you got the Demolish, you got the FLICKR rune set that we saw at MSC. And going up against Fun here, who also has Unsealed Spellbook. That's quite fun. We got a library in the mid lane.
Now, Wei again, as we talked about, clearing towards this top side of the map, but Peanut is trying to make some funny business happen on the bottom side. Might be expecting potentially Wei to just clear that bottom side and then go back top.
Nice hook. Peanut won't be able to find his way in. There's Gravitum to follow up. Going to get the lockdown here, but maybe not. Still great trading. Peanut will show himself in the end. Now we're actually looking towards the top side because Xiaobai and Garvey are having at it. Conqueror hit by both, but better trade here from Xiaobai.
Garvey can't really trade into that minion wave, and you do have to be careful. It's as you start to get to this point. Oh, Wei.
Oh, that lands. Wei comes on in. He has a ward to jump back to. All he needs is one more hit as Rampage, or rather, sorry, E has been used. But Fun's up as well. And even with Time Warped on it, Garvey, all he needs to do is get hit by a Trouble Bubble, and he does. Tanked up nicely. First blood over to Fun.
You can take Cryan out of eStar, but eStar is still going to play the same games, operating on these quick movements around the map. Fun pushes in, they go dive top. I've talked about how volatile this matchup can be with Xiaobai. Already the one in control when it comes to Hecarim v Wukong. That's just been doubled down on.
I mean, Fun now has a lost chapter after that as well, as we just keep looking towards the bottom lane. Now seems the weakness of eStar here in this game number 1, with Kramer and Mark pushing in, looking for a reset themselves, but end of the day, the gold lead has started off by eStar.
Interesting to see Shelby going towards the Executioner's Calling, though. Usually in this matchup, it's a toss-up between Sheen and Phage. Personally, I prefer the Sheen because the whole idea of this matchup is to try and burst down Hecarim before he can use his E to run away, and you've got your Cyclone running a Shelby to get multiple procs of this Sheen off. Going for the Executioners looks like he's more worried about the healing from the W, but it's not too much. I mean, you're getting 90 healing coming off total off of the minions and that. So as long as you've got this moment where there's no damage that can come out from Garvey because of the CC from the Cyclone, he actually doesn't heal a huge amount.
You remember as well, the Spirit of Dread from Garvey, you know, the longer you stay in combat, the longer he gets Rampage off as well. The healing can be quite obnoxious, so I'm not totally against it up in that top lane. I will pause though. Jungle v jungle action, and Peanut going to get spotted out first. He doesn't know Wave's in here with a Sonic Wave with no resonating strike. It's some tension down in that bottom lane.
It's Peanut trying to figure out where Wave's going to be. He needs to be here for this play.
Okay, Xiaoxi wants the hook. Wave sticking around. Yeah, tension indeed.
So Peanut, actually I'm going to hang on. They're definitely going to
It's like going on a first
date.
date.
Come on. Are they going to do it? Here we go.
All right, who's paying for the check? Xiaoxi going to be slowed on down. Nice little inner flame there. And the trades again. LGD have been really cautious in this bottom lane. They just back away again.
And well played by Kramer and Mark, because this is not an easy lane to try and play around, especially as you've already pushed it in, but more plays. That was
I think we've seen him. Have they?
Has it? It may have just been a visual, but I don't think they have.
They haven't, so Mark's going to get hooked on in. That means Rocket Punch into the air. The damage too much. Ignite down, and down he goes. With double TP coming through, it's going to be an all-out brawl as Finfin decides it's my time to shine. He'll get a nice trouble bubble, but the follow-up not there. Only a Sonic Wave, as I believe the other TP got cancelled. Unless I'm blind.
No, we had both of them TP.
Was Xie there?
Yeah, Xie, Fen, they're all down there, but this is exactly what we saw from eStar and Spring Split, and again, this early game aggression stemming from Wei, and even with Peanut having an inkling as to where Wei is going to be, he ends up dipping out just before Wei commits to the play, not there in time, and eStars will pick up the kills and the strike.
Cloud Dragon turns into Infernal, Ocean or Mountain Rift, which... Okay. Oh, we would want the Ocean if you're both teams here, but we'll have a look at this one again as... No, you didn't see it! Oh, tricky dicky.
Yeah, Xiaoxi playing this well. We know he loves these hook champions. We know he's been such a crucial part of eStar. And once again, we're seeing this sort of performance from him where he's setting up eStar so well for success.
I guess I didn't look at Xie because I'm like, there's meant to be 3 people in that bottom lane with the jungler. I apologize about that, folks, but Xie walks down, or teleports down rather, and doesn't find too much. Now comes back to lane with an Ignite in his pocket thanks to the Unsealed Spellbook and the blue buff given over very nicely by Peanut. 2 kills to start this game off. eStars again with that gold lead by about 500. And once we get back to lanes, no big swings in CS leads, but still those items are starting to come out. We've got Sheen, we've got Tyr, already for Wink, most crucially, versus the BF Sword of Kramer.
And eStar will be able to double down on this pressure once we get to these mid-games. Those 2 items from the Zoe, from the Ezreal, and from Wukong as well are going to be so obnoxious to try and deal with as LGD. The whole reason that you try and pick the Hecarim in the top lane is to push and maybe make moves, as you can see now from Garvey. But unfortunately, because LGD have been put behind so far, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to try and make these plays happen.
At the very least, Rift Herald might be able to influence that, right? We've got vision control there as the hook lands again. Mark in a bit of a pickle as Wink tries to follow him through, but Kramer, just 1v2s, picks up about 10 million shurikens and forces Wink back.
Keep your eyes on mid lane to see if Xie can shove this wave in and maybe come into the bottom side. You can see Peanut trying to scope out if there is going to be Wei in that bottom side. No camps, you'd know Wei is going to be up towards the top end of the map.
Severum and Crescendum this early. I don't think anyone wants to be near Kramer though, so we'll look towards other parts of the map. As Peanut's going to be spotted out yet again here on the Trundle. Wei, and she's up towards the top side. Keep your eyes peeled. That Rift Herald sitting there for now. Ping's actually going down by LGD.
They're trying to capitalize here as eStar on the pressure that they've already gotten for Xiaobai. So starting up this Rift Herald will be spotted out though, and now Xiaoxi fishing for the hooks.
Yeah, this Boots of Swifty Blitzcrank is ready as Xie walking through here. Now going to get spotted out by the Blitzcrank as eStars all 5, and look, Kramer soon to come, but Rift Herald at 1500 Dagda as Destiny will find its mark. It's actually stolen away by Peanut and taken away by LGD. the Destiny used by Xie just to get out, and that is a big old win for LGD.
The rest of LGD need to back away, though. They don't want to get caught out by a hook from Xiaoxi. Destiny there does a good job of spotting out what the movement was from eStar, so both teams are able to get away. This is strong from LGD, who, in all intents and purposes, should have lost out on that Rift Herald.
Thanks for the leash, bro.
Yeah,
Peanut just
no
walks
problem.
on up. And now we got a Herald on the side of LGD, so that gold lead for eStar won't last too long as we do have a pause. Way's saying, why did I not get Herald?
Excuse me, I hit the F button. I tried to smite, and it didn't go through.
I'm so proud you have
Remake.
smite on F.
Remake.
He's got it on D, though. No, we'll see.
Everyone knows
for the
D for Delash.
We apologize for the inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get a message to you as soon as we find out what's going on there. But we're into game 1 of LGD and eStar, and this pause could not have come at a worse time.
Still, though, I want to take a moment to kind of look at the way this game has gone so far. Because eStar, again, up to their old tricks, getting out nice and early, having Wei control the jungle matchup, and this was something that we were kind of wondering if he'd still go towards. Maybe he plays a little bit more towards mid lane, but he's still getting Xiao by ahead, working down towards Wink in the bottom side of the map. Even in a matchup where I didn't expect him to try and play as aggressively towards, because you've got the Ezreal AD carry there, not able to follow up oftentimes with a huge amount of damage, but Xiaoxi has been so on point with these hooks that you can't ignore this bottom lane. It's been set up over and over for eStar.
The reason why the Blitzcrank was often banned away from Xiaoxi, right? The Thresh as well targeted towards him. Xiaoxi was a great support in spring. He really came rolling from the LMS. A lot of people remember he was on the side of the Flash Wolves, where Xiaoxi, you know, he was an okay support, but coming into the LPL, they're like, oh, no. Another LMS player who won't hit the mark. Very wrong. Xiaoxi hit it hard.
And the difference here was when we first saw him come in, his Leona did not look so splendid. Ooh. It was so over-aggressive, throwing caution to the wind and throwing a Zenith Blade at anything that moved in his vicinity. Now, though, he's really kind of brought back in that calmness, making sure that he's been a bit more cautious and has stepped up massively. He was the support with the most MVPs in Spring Split. A lot of them on the Bard, a lot of them on the Thresh, which is why we saw them banned away in this game. And eStar, as a result, have really flourished with just outperforming their team in a lot of situations.
An update for everyone out there. Peanut has reported an in-game issue. That's why we're currently paused. We'll update you if anything changes there. Hopefully that gets sorted as soon as possible. But, you know, coming back to before you're talking about Wei, just remember this is another Young Miracles jungler. And the trend so far has been 2018 Worlds, Ning Finals MVP. 2019 Worlds, Tien Finals MVP. 2020 Worlds, Wei. yeah. V5 Wei instead of Wei. Another Young Miracles jungler in the form of Wei. It's part of the reason why people were hyped up. They're like, hang on, Shalom Bao also came from there. Why isn't he hyped up as much? Why did Wei get benched for him? And again, Wei starting the split off right here. You talked about his aggression. He's not a jungler that's going to sit back and pretty much just farm up and be passive. Wei has been a great aggressive jungler that we've seen throughout spring. And now seeing him again in summer is towards the bottom side as we return to Summoner's Rift. No level advantage here between Peanut and Wei, even though Peanut did pick up the Rift Herald just before we went to the pause. So he's still got that in his inventory. Now we have to find out where he's going to put it.
The beauty for eStar being ahead at this stage of the game is we already kind of hammered home how they will spike off of 2 items.
Yep.
But the biggest thing is making sure that you control the map to dictate that LGD have to come play with you. Because the biggest problem is if you're looking at Xie and he's playing off in this side lane, how do you try and force him out of that fight or that side lane? But the best way to do it is if you're ahead, you're controlling where the vision is, you're pushing in those waves, and then you can fall back towards the likes of this dragon that's up in 50 seconds and look to find those fights that can further the gold lead.
I mean, you got to look towards what they're trying to set up right now between the gaps in vision. Looking for that pick through Xiaoxi.
So Garvy's just TP top for eStar. This is, we're getting Dragon. This is, okay, LGD are not going to look to fight us, but Xiaoxi looking to make the play on the bottom side first.
Here he comes, looking for the rocket grab, goes onto Mark yet again. The burst damage to kick in mid-air. Mark gets ignited, but he doesn't die down because the True Shot Barrage went through a little bit too early. Not coordinated from eStar with a double grab to Moonlight Vigil. That's great, but the TP comes through from Xiao Bai. But I think they might already be out. First cycle comes through. Peanut has to flash. The rocket grab was on top of Kramer, so he flashes as well.
eStar aren't done. FunFun is now moving down here as well. They want to make sure they're getting something for this TP, especially since Garvey's already shoved in that wave in the top lane, so Xiaobai needs to get something back for this play.
So the play is fixed by eStar, by Xiaobai specifically.
Well, you say that, but I mean, the kill still goes over to LGD.
That's true.
Garvey's getting an answer for that gold and experience in that bottom lane. So realistically, this is a net win for LGD, especially with Xiaobai having to move back towards the top lane with his tail between his legs, which means this, in theory, could be an even fight for Dragon, but way faster off the reset, we'll be able to pick up this Dragon.
When you're looking towards a Hecarim that's going straight towards the Trinity Force versus the, you know, Executioner's calling, Xiaobai then went Tiamat as well. Now he's going towards either Black Cleaver or Trinity Force, so there's going to be a bigger, faster spike on this Hecarim.
I mean, eStar tried to make the play here, but Wei gets caught underneath the tower thanks to the root from Mark, where it was the empowered W to heal him up, and you get the pillar which shoves him back underneath the tower as well. So great play coming out from LGD across the board there.
He kicks Mark away, means True Shot Barrage doesn't kill him too. So that was one thing you don't normally see with eStar is lack of coordination, right? That was kind of prevalent there in that play. I want to come back though because we've got Herald down the bottom side. Kramer has a kill. And very soon he's going to have a bit of this turret plating.
Yeah, and I mean, I like this from LGD. Your main carry on this squad is the Aphelios, trying to snowball him to those 3 items. And otherwise, you run the risk of, as we said, just falling so far behind in the mid-game off of the constant pressure that eStar are putting down.
Yeah. Kramer waiting in the brush. Shall see and wink. Oh. Peanut lives here. Peanut loves this bottom lane. Very fair. Kramer
Peanut just wants to hold hands with Wade.
Yeah, and they will because Wink's going to heal. He doesn't have a flash. He does have an arcane shift though, but the pillar as Kramer picks up one now with the Moonlight Vigil. Looking for Xiaoxi as well. Aphelios fed. We've heard this story before.
Aphelios is going to do Aphelios things with 3 kills now for Kramer. And I love the way Peanut played that. Held onto the pillar until Wink had used his arcane shift. So there's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. And now LGD, we're starting to see glimpses of why this roster was so exciting to watch.
I mean, playing towards that bottom side in the past, it's worked out. Even without the roster that we currently have for LGD, Kramer is the star performer. And this turret should just drop down. First turret of the game, picked up by LGD. They have the gold lead by 2K.
And this is massive for LGD. As we said, they want to be the ones that are going towards those later stages in the game, but also because it now gives Xie a little bit more of an opportunity to put pressure on this bottom lane, force people on eStars to deal with the side lane split push. And Xie has even opted towards that build that we talked about, going straight for the Lich Bane. He wants to tear through these structures.
Nice and early. Level 11 on the TF as well. So Destiny, bit less in the cooldown as we look at turret plating and top and bottom yet again.
And look at Garvey there. That was all off of that TP from Xiaobai. Yep. That's how one TP, one mistake can completely change the dynamic of a matchup. And you've got Garvey now so far accelerated towards that Triforce, whereas you've only got the Phage completed for Xiaobai, who assumes
but a good Hex Flash. Kramer caught on out here. Sonic Wave resonating strike, and he's dead. Big shutdown over to FunFun. And this Zoe was already a little bit fed. Now, let's over-exaggerate that.
Same mistakes from Kramer in Spring, where you just get caught out in these weird positions, especially when it got towards those objective fights. Luckily for LGD, no real objectives on the map when it comes to like the Dragon or... Well, actually, they're on the Rift Herald, yeah. But LGD should be able to hold on to this mid lane turret for the moment.
They will. A little pick off of FunFun as Xiaoxi keeps on threatening. Garvey walking between them, but the Herald's already been started off of camera. Xie heading to the bottom side to add a bit of pressure for LGD. But it looks like they have just given up the Herald. They're going to say, okay, eStars, you take this one. There you go.
And this is the issue with LGD, is that if you're going to have Kramer in these odd positions where he's more likely to get caught out, eStar is definitely a team to collapse, but here we go.
Oh, mistime backs in. Garvey is going to be running right for them as, yep, Wink goes down and it goes over to this Hecarim. Now the chase onto FunFun. They're not really threatened. They know that Xiaoxi backed.
They do need to be careful, though, because Xiaobai is in a position in this mid lane, but here we go.
Careful's not his middle name. It's Garvey. He's an aggressive top laner. Underneath the turret, he doesn't really care. He moves out just in time as Peanut comes through with the subjugate. All they need is one more auto onto FunFun. But how hard is it going to be to get it? Let's go. It's time to rampage and run into him.
Too many members from eStars are going to have to back away. Garvey actually might get caught out for this.
He gets burst down with a nice trouble bubble. Oh, sorry, Papelstar. Weiwei's coming in, and he has kick available. Also the execute for Sonic Wave. Resonating strike, he flashes over. Kick into the wall. Easily done. LGD punished.
And this was what I was worried about when I saw that they were going to over-chase for this pick in the top side. Meant that they didn't get that mid lane turret, which they could have just turned towards, because it was 5 versus the 2 of eStars. And LGD, greedy for that kill, lose out a lot.
They do. We're finding the places of these teams in this game one. So far, I'm still not sure. We've had a couple of mistakes from both teams. More importantly at this point, as Garvey does go back and gets, a quick recall, he picked up Trinity Force and another longsword. So there is a big power spike on this Hecarim versus Xiaobai, who does not have the same.
And they're going to try and use that now at this Dragon fight. Garvey having that Triforce is such a massive boon for this Hecarim. He can delete Fun if he gets on top of him. And look at the way LGD are spread out here. There's so many avenues for them to get onto eStar, which is why you're seeing them back up into their own jungle.
Waiting around the skirts of vision as well. With that Ocean Dragon currently being controlled by eStars with a control ward. They feel safe to push through mid here. And yeah, that classic Rift Herald play on the cards.
Look at where Garvey is. This is a really good spot for him. They actually don't know on eStar where he is, and he's got direct access to come around the back if he's able to.
And he has the Onslaught of Shadows once again.
Kramer out of position though. So you're going to have to give up this mid lane turret. Good call from eStars to use that Rift Herald. But Kramer's now caught in this odd scenario where he's got to walk the whole way around. So LGD can't burst the Dragon, and they've still got a Rift Herald that's going towards their tier 2.
Now finally there, but you're right, he's at 2k. He's going to be the ultimate coming through, but stolen away by eStar. The Spirit of Dread runs in once again here. And Garvey with a great ulti while Shousey gets flashed on by Kramer, who just wants to kill Blitzcrank. LGD win out the fight. They lose the Dragon to eStar, who are now on Soul Point. But a kill's a kill.
The Dragon does go over towards eStars. The Soul Point is really what they wanted there. I think you'll give over Shousey to set yourself up for that Soul Point. Now coming in towards that next Dragon, you can go back, look for poke, look for that one pick from the Blitzcrank that can change it all.
I mean, at that point, you're now going to have to go, all right, we got an Ocean Soul at 24 minutes in the game. That's very threatening. As you speak of threatening, this is going to go down pretty quick, huh?
Yeah. It's gone. Good. It is absolutely out of there.
Fantastic.
And here's the problem. I mean, Kramer's getting very accelerated. So even though eStars right now, we talk about that 2-item spike, they've really hit that. Kramer's not far off of getting towards where he's going to be coming towards the forefront and being the big carry, especially with Xie even opting now to change up the build path a little bit, working towards that Sonya's Hourglass. Realizes, look, I'm going to need it because chances are I'll be split pushing against Xiaobai, but also means he can play a far more aggressive role like he did in the last fight in securing a gold card onto Fun to set up for Garvey or even onto Wink if he's able to do so.
Yeah, we haven't really talked much about Xie, have we? It's been the story of kind of Garvey getting into these fights, also just where is Kramer positioned. But Xie so far has just been doing a decent job. There's not been much to say because there hasn't been much in the ways of limelight towards his TF, but he does have a level lead over Fun, more importantly enough. And as you pointed out earlier on with the Lichbane there, the threat starts becoming real as to where Xie is on the map, but it's still a shame.
Fun has also done a really good job of keeping Xie in check, like making sure that he's not able to move around from this mid lane. Because if you had the likes of Xie get down and set up onto Wink, or even try and influence this top lane matchup, we could be looking at a very different game. But either way, LGD now find themselves at a 2k gold lead. Baron is on the cards. I think realistically, eStars are more looking to get vision and try and bait LGD into this. They don't have the quickest that Baron takes.
Yeah, definitely don't. And Garvey in the side lane as well. The threat now from this Hecarim, who is going to be going towards... we've got second item Death's Dance here for Garvey, so a lot more healing.
And the beauty here for LGD is that you can have two people play off into this side lane. You can have Garvey and start to try and bait out the likes of that teleport from Xiaobai, and once that's done, you just have Xie take Garvey's place in this bottom lane. It becomes really difficult for eStars to actually deal with, and you can... Oh, hang on.
Oh, Shousey with the hook. Mark, goodbye. As it's going to be a Destiny on top of Wei. It's going to be a trade for trade at this point, but Wei is much more valuable as Garvey's committing towards it. He gets knocked back into the enemy team and has to use the Onslaught of Shadows defensively. Wei still goes down in the end, but now for LGD, they have blinking health bars as Fun and Wing are going all in and all out. Goes to Peanut. as She8 can't re-engage this fight. eStars have won it, and even without a jungler, they know they can go to Baron or keep pushing mid.
They're just going to keep going here. eStars managed to find the pick, and they can now get that mid lane turret as well. This is fantastic from eStars.
You have to look at what started that. I know we'll have a quick look in a second, but both junglers are dead. And it was a bit of an explosive fight that came out of nowhere.
So it was Wei who got caught out off on the bottom side, but with Mark already gone, Kramer's got to be far more careful in the way he approaches these fights. Because you don't have that speed up, or at least to get out of there as fast as possible. Kramer's not in the best of spots here either, because he's got to deal with Wei. He's now got a TP where he's running from. So all the gold that's been funneled into this AD carry has been used in 2 auto attacks onto a Wukong, and now he's back in runaway mode.
I was just looking at She8 to start that off as, yeah, that was a nice ult. She8 flashed over the wall to kill Wei and then dodged away from the hook. So that was a really cool move. Really aggressive as well. He's got the Zhonya's Hourglass, so he can do things like that. And when he has the Lich Bane as well, that burst's going to come a lot quicker. As we reset the map, both junglers are alive again. And we're sitting mid.
You'd love to have LGD putting pressure on this bottom side now that the TP from Xiaobai is gone. But the problem here is that you can't go over aggressive as LGD because there's always the opportunity for eStars to try and collapse. I'd love to see Xie instead moving up towards this top side of the map, putting pressure onto a tier 2, see if you can spread eStars out and just gift over one dragon. It's not the end of the world if eStars get one for themselves.
Destiny's own. The hook's too early from Xiaoxi. Not often you see that one as Xie will go golden. The Cyclone in the middle. Xiaobai goes to the back line as well. And Kramer bullied up. eStar's target selection has just knocked LGD out of contention for this fight. It's over. Get your soul.
And now eStars can just move across. Actually, was mixed it up in my head. I was saying that LGD would be able to give over Dragon. It's eStars that are on soul points, and they're now going to be able to secure that. This is, again, LGD just opting into these fights where eStar with Xiaobai can get access on towards Kramer. They're very spread out, and there's no real way of forcing back Wukong or Wei in these fights.
I mean, Xiaobai in that last fight hit everyone with the Cyclone. That was beautiful. Flashes to the back line, and for eStar, they've already got the Soul. Walnut take the big purple worm on top.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with this, and now they continue to put their foot down. This is just them snowballing off of the early plays that they made, coming into the mid-game in their stride, and just tearing apart LGD.
This is going to be the first major lead here in this game. Game 1, eStar showing up big, putting LGD in their place, and I tell you one thing, this team hasn't changed in the sense that their team fighting is still terrific.
The biggest thing that I see here, though, is that LGD have all committed on towards this right-hand side of the fight, which means that Kramer is exposed towards the back line, and like, look at where FLICKR is positioned. Same when it comes towards Xiaobai, who luckily has flash to get access onto there, but still, you've got eStars that are all being funneled straight onto Kramer, who is the main source of damage on this team.
Garvey was in his devastating charge mode and then ran over the trouble bubble and kind of just entered that last part. So that's kind of sad. But we do see who is the better top laner in fights, and Garvey's had some okay moments, but Xiaobai has one major one that could have just won the game for eStars. 25 minutes in. We got Elder on the horizon after taking Soul here in 4 minutes 30. We got a Baron buff for another 2 minutes. And we got eStar who are waiting for LGD to overstep again.
I'm actually surprised to see Xiaobai opt for the Black Cleaver here. I thought he'd go for the Triforce when there's not a huge amount of armor that exists on LGD, and when you go towards that Triforce, it gives you so much more power in these side lanes, and you have kill pressure onto this Hecarim if you end up in that 1v1 scenario.
Well, I'm seeing eStar being very passive with their Baron. Which lane are they going to pick? It seems like top side finally, as we've got Xiaobai in the bottom side for now. And turret's going to go down. That's a burst out of, I'm sure, a couple of other objectives that are going to be falling down here. And eStar, the conversation coming into today was, what is FLICKR going to be in this team? What is this team going to look like losing Crine? To me, eStar look exactly the bloody same. And FLICKR has had a pretty good game 1.
I agree. I mean, we see the early aggression. It's FLICKR left to fend for himself, but has done a really good job here, and I can argue that eStar still look just as good as they did before. The question is, though, as we start to move on, how do they react if they start to fall behind, or if we come to a mid to late game where they're a little bit more uneven footing?
He had that for at least the first 25 minutes before that last fight, but as we saw on the top side, the push continues here with Xiaobai sitting mid. A hook comes in out of nowhere, and Peanut, just like that, is gone.
And this is the beauty of Blitzcrank, is he just breaks open all these turtling compositions where maybe we can hang on, maybe we can just wave clear, and Xiaoxi, the hook god, is putting on a show here.
And flashes and forces one out of Kramer. That's more worth than anything. As in comes Fun over Mark as well. Next wave is coming in shortly. Xiaobai's hitting mid. This one just feels over with the way it's going.
eStar's crack open turret number 1. You now have Wink putting pressure on that top lane as everything is going astray for LGD. And they just don't really have a way to come back into this. Unfortunately, Garvey isn't tanky enough to just straight up engage here. You could have Xie Destiny in towards the back line, but with how well Xiaobai has been positioning and Xiaoxi playing forward, they're not going to be able to do anything. They can't follow up on Xie's engage.
It's kind of weird that Zoe still has Talisman of Ascension that she can pick up when that item's no longer in the game. I just saw it before in the mid lane. As we're going to look at this again. Just through the minion wave. Peanut, yeah, probably not the right way to go, but nicely done.
And this is surprising to see from LGD with a composition where you can actually make plays with getting Twisted Fate out and about on the map. They never went up towards the top side. You didn't see Peanut put much pressure towards mid to try and enable this play to happen. Instead, he tried to match Wei in the early stages, which has worked for some teams in spring, but realistically, Wei just well, I want to say outthought him. Wei just stuck around longer than Peanut expected and managed to get these plays to work out.
I mean, Wei was more impactful in those fights as well, right?
Yeah.
We saw some amazing kicks come through. Wei now with a level lead. Going to make it pretty hard for the steal to come through with Peanut on the verge of this Elder coming up in a minute with eStars who... Oh, just do it blind. Oh, Xiaoxi. All he needs is to find this hook, and Elder / game is confirmed.
All of this is going to be on Kramer to try and carry these fights, but Xiaoxi's gunning for him.
Hex Flash and Peanut. He gets pulled in yet again. Silence down, dead. Kick to finish that one off as TP comes through, and with that movement speed, Xiaobai without force the engage. LGD are on the retreat path, but I don't think eStars are going to let them out. As cornered down, beautiful Cyclone. Man, give that one a name. It's tearing the house apart. Xie locks him down, but it's already too late. LGD have fallen, and eStar rise again.
eStar once again coming out at the start of the split looking immaculate. They will easily take game number 1 as Xiaoxi is taking this pony for a ride.
Yeah, let's go. It's robot versus ponies, and well, the pony is winning, but not in the way you'd think. We got game 1 over to eStar here. A great return to the summer LPL split.
Xiaoxi going full Westworld at the end of that series, but either way, this has been eStars looking great so far. Wei, once again, early aggressive junglers, influencing both sides of the map, and